Welcome back to our channel, everyone. Welcome back to our homestead and welcome back to our garden. Today we're going to be talking about carrots and two different things about carrots. One is how to plant them. Two is how to plant them in an extremely hot environment and still get a high germination rate, because we all know that carrots love the cold. So let's get going. Today we're going to be planting several different kinds of carrots. Two of those are our favorites. Cosmic Purple, which is a purple flesh carrot, which is actually kind of rainbow on the inside. It's got streaks of yellow and orange and everything like that. It's a really tasty carrot as well, and it does very good here. And the other one is called Parisienne. Parisienne is really cool. It's an orange globe style carrot, which is a little round ball. And if you have a harder soil, these are great carrots to plant in there because they don't go very deep. So you don't need that really deep fluffy soil to do them. Also, we're going to be planting these Amarillo carrots. Amarillo, however you want to say it. I'm going to assume that it's a yellow style carrot. These, if you didn't know, if you order from Baker Creek Seed Company, you get a package of free seeds along with whatever you order, which is really kind of them to do, and it is different every year. It's different every order. So this last order that we got with some of our broccoli seeds was these Amarillo carrots, and we're going to be planting these and see how they do in our area. But first, we had to prepare our bed. In preparing our bed, we removed all of the mulch off the top of it, all the leaves off the top of it, kind of raked that back and fluffed up our soil. You can see that what we like to do is use just a pitchfork. You can use a broad fork, you can use a really flat-tined, tough garden fork. Our soil is soft enough where we can just use our 10-tine pitchfork, and every 6 inches or so, we're going to stick it down. We're going to stick it down in that soil and pull back just to lift up the soil a little bit, get air down into the first 10 or so inches of the soil and start to loosen it up down below. After we're done with that, we go along our bed and we do that. We are going to flame weed our bed. Now that's really important. Flame weeding, we've found, is a great method to create a stale seed bed. So carrots, if you didn't know, don't do well with weeds. If you have high weed pressure with carrots, you do not get a very good carrot crop. So you want to maintain as stale of a seed bed as you can while you're planting your carrots. Kill off those weeds with that flame weeder. It's a really great tool. We use it in our garden on every bed all the time, and I'll leave the link to that thing down below. We've done a whole nother video on that. I'll also leave that video, maybe I'll put it up here for you guys to see. It's a great tool to have for your gardening. Once we have our stale seed bed established, we're going to go ahead and add in our amendments for this year, if you need to. If your bed is really fertile, you might not need to add anything to it, but we usually do between our spring and fall plantings. In this case, we're going to add some worm castings to the top and a little bit of azomite. So what we're going to do with our worm castings and our azomite is just do a nice quick broadcast. That's going to add a good amount of nutrients to the soil. And that's about all you need, especially with the azomite. We're just going to kind of ruffle the soil a little bit just to get it in that first top half to quarter inch. And that's what you want, because that's where your seeds are germinating. And to give them all that nutrient right at their point of germination and when they start growing those roots is really important. Now, we absolutely love these two. We've used these for years. This is a wiggle worm worm castings. The reason we use this is it had high reviews on Amazon when we first bought it. We've had great success with it in the garden, and it is the most affordable, pretty much the most affordable on Amazon. It's not the cheapest, not the most expensive, kind of like middle and towards the middle and a little bit lower. So this stuff is awesome. I highly recommend it. Of course, The link is always below. It's in our Amazon store, which you can go find over on countrylivingexperience.com, or the link below, of course. So last week on our video, we mentioned a great way to get your carrots to germinate in really hot environments. Now, we are September 22 in East Texas, and it is 90 degrees outside. It is incredibly humid. We just had some rain, but we haven't had that much rain at all. So keeping your carrot seeds moist is super important. That's one huge thing people overlook. When they get spotty germination on carrots, or their carrots just don't do well at all in their garden, one of the main things is moisture. Carrots love moisture. They also love the cool temperatures. So we really need to start our carrots at this time, because the weather could cool off kind of quickly, but it's so hot out here that any moisture we put on the top of this soil is just going to evaporate really, really fast. So we're going to talk about that method in a minute. I also want you to go check out that video last week that tells you exact planting dates for most of your fall veggies in your garden. And this method that we talked about in the previous video works for any zone. So here, what we've got is our drip line in the center of two little trenches that we've created with a 1x piece of material. That 1x piece of material gives you a really nice size row for your carrots. We're just going to liberally sprinkle our carrots on either side in those little trenches on either side of our drip line here. Be nice and liberal with them, because one, carrot seeds aren't that expensive, and two, we are going to be thinning them for better growth. There we go. Carrot seeds don't need to be planted that deeply, so we're just going to cover them gently with about, ½ inch or so, quarter to ½ inch of soil. Having that drip tape right in the middle is going to give adequate moisture to both rows. Granted that we need to employ this next method here to keep that moisture in the soil when it's so bloody hot. All right, here's the big secret, everyone. It's a 2x8 and our 2 bricks. What we're going to do is we're going to set our bricks far enough apart right on our row to accommodate our 2x8. What this 2x8 is going to do is it's going to shade our carrot seeds and help that moisture to be retained underneath this board. Now that board should be maybe an inch, inch and a half off of the ground. That way you're getting a little bit of ambient light underneath, so that's not a worry. But that sun is not going to bake that soil, and that moisture is going to be retained within that soil for those seeds to utilize. Now, as soon as they come up, we're going to need to keep an eye on this. As soon as they come up, we're going to take our board off and we're going to mulch around it. Now, we've talked before about what an amazing thing leaves do for your garden, not only in building soil, but in mulching and retaining moisture, and also suppressing weeds around our seedlings. So as soon as we get our seedlings coming up, we're going to mulch with our leaves here and keep those weeds at bay, because like I said before, carrots don't compete well with weeds at all. So you want a as weed-free of an environment as you can possibly get. We really hope that that information was helpful for you, including that method of how to germinate those seeds in a hot climate like ours down here in Texas. We have had some great crops of carrots in a really hot place the past couple of years, and utilizing these methods is the way to do it, because you need to keep that moisture in that soil for those carrots to do well. We thank you all for being here. We want you to subscribe to the channel. We want you to go visit us on countrylivingexperience.com. Check out our Amazon store below in the description. We appreciate it. Have a great day, and we will see you next week on the next video.